Good morning, students. Today, Wednesday, I'm your English teacher in Vittal Matriculation School. Hope you're all doing well, right? Yes. Are you all happy? Okay, in last class, what we have seen? Students, are you all read the passage? Supplementary, right? Jim Corbett, a hunter turned naturalist, right? You have to read the passage and you have to memorize the glossaries and fill in the blanks. Today we are going to see read the following passage and answer the questions given below. Read the following passage and answer the questions given below. Students, you have to take your note and pen. You have to write the answers in your note. Okay. Let me read the passage. Jim Corbett played a key role in establishing India's first national park in the Kuman Hills, the Hailey National Park in Uttarakhand, India. It was initially named after Lord Malcolm Hailey. Jim Corbett died on 19th April 1955. The park was renamed in 1957 as the Jim Corbett National Park. It was named after him to honor his role in establishing this protected area in 1930s. Here they give questions from this passage. We have to answer it. First question, who played a key role in establishing the national park? Who played a key role in establishing the national park? Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett played a who? Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett played a key role in establishing the national park. And then, why was the park named Hailey National Park? Why was the park named Hailey National Park? In the memory of Lord Malcolm Hailey, the park was named Hailey National Park. In the memory of Lord Malcolm Hailey, the park was named Hailey National Park. See, you have to write it in your note, okay? First question. Who played a key role in establishing the national park? Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett played a key role in establishing the national park. And second question, why was the park named Hailey National Park? In the memory of Lord Malcolm Hailey. In the memory of Lord Malcolm Hailey, the park was named Hailey National Park. Hailey National Park. And then, when was it renamed as Jim Corbett National Park? You see, the park was renamed in 1957. The park was renamed in 1957. In the memory of Lord Malcolm Hailey, the park was named Hailey National Park, right? Then third question, when was it renamed as Jim Corbett National Park? The park was renamed in 1957, right? First question, who played a key role in establishing the national park? Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett played a key role in establishing the national park. And second question, why was the park named Hailey National Park? In the memory of Lord Malcolm Hailey, the park was named Hailey National Park. And then when was it renamed as Jim Corbett National Park? The park was renamed in 1957. And answer the following in one or two words. See, answer the following in one or two words. The fourth question is, what was the birth name of Jim Corbett? What was the birth name of Jim Corbett? See, Edward James Corbett, right? Edward James Corbett was the birth name of Jim Corbett. Here they give one or two words, right? So Edward James Corbett. And then what was the name of Corbett's dog? What was the name of Corbett dogs? Robin. Here see, Robin, his dog, right? Robin, Robin. And how many kills did the Champawat tiger record? We already seen, right? Here see, nearly 436, right? It is the world record, Guinness Book of World Records, right? So nearly 436 kills. Nearly 436 kills. Then, who was the last kill of the Champawat tiger? Who was the last kill of Champawat tiger? A 16-year-old girl. A 16-year-old girl. And then, when did Jim Corbett die? When did Jim Corbett die? 19th April 1955, right? 19th April 1955. Then, answer the following in 100 words. Answer the following in 100 words. So, you have to write it in your note. Okay, students? Option B, C, D. You have to write it in your English note. Definitely I will check it. Okay. You have to write it the book bag answers in your English note. Okay. First question. Here 9th question. According to Corbett, why a tiger turns into a man-eater? According to Corbett, why a tiger turns into a man-eater? See, the answer is the tiger. 9th question. Tigers do not kill human beings normally. Tigers do not kill human beings normally when they grow old or get hurt. When they grow old or get hurt, they are unable to hunt wild animals. They are unable to hunt wild animals. Then only they start killing human beings. Then only they start killing human beings. People cannot run as fast as animals. People cannot run as fast as animals. Therefore, they became easy prey. They become easy prey. After eating human flesh, tigers do not eat any other flesh. After eating human flesh, tigers do not eat any other flesh. They become man-eaters. They become man-eaters. They become man-eaters. Again, you have to write your notes, students. Okay. Tiger do not kill human beings normally. When they grow old or get hurt, they are unable to hunt wild animals. Then only they start killing human beings. People cannot run as fast as animals, therefore they become easy prey. After eating human flesh, tigers do not eat any other flesh, they become man-eaters. And then 10th question, how was the Champawat tiger killed? How was the Champawat tiger killed? See, 10th question answer is the first Jim Corbett. At first, Jim Corbett made many attempts to hunt the tigress. At first, Jim Corbett made many attempts to hunt the tigress, but when it became unsuccessful, then the tigress killed a 16-year-old village girl. It took place near Champawat. The animal left a trail of blood. Corbett followed it. Whole day passed. They couldn't track the tigress. The next day, a bait was organized with 300 villagers. The tigress was shot dead near the Champawat Bridge in Champawat by Jim Corbett. At first, Jim Corbett made many attempts to hunt the tigress, but when it became unsuccessful, then the tigress killed a 16-year-old village girl. It took place near Champawat. The animal left a trail of blood. Corbett followed it. Whole day passed. They couldn't track the tigress. The next day, a bait was organized with 300 the villagers. The tigress was shot dead near the Champawat Bridge in Champawat by Jim Corbett. Yes. And third question is, what were the findings of the postmortem? What were the findings of the postmortem? See, the 11th question is the postmortem. The postmortem on the tiger showed the broken teeth of the animal. The canine teeth in the upper jaw was broken in half. The canine teeth in the lower jaw showed it broken right to the bone. Jim Corbett said that the injury was due to the gunshot from a hunter. The postmortem on the tiger showed the broken teeth of the animal. The canine teeth in the upper jaw was broken in half. The canine teeth in the lower jaw showed it broken right to the bone. Jim Corbett said that the injury was due to the gunshot from a hunter. Yes. Students, are you all understood the question and answers? You have to write it in your note, okay? Then, steps to success. Steps to success. Analogy. Analogy, verbal reasoning questions. Analogy, verbal reasoning questions. There is such a relation between two given words. Find the relation to find the missing words. Here they give reading knowledge and work experience. Work experience work experience EXPERIENCE. Work experience. Reading knowledge, work experience. Cricket bat, hockey stick, right? Here reading knowledge, work experience, cricket bat, hockey stick. Field player ball, no, hockey stick. And then dog rabies, mosquito plague, death, malaria, sting. What? Mosquito, malaria. MALARIA, malaria. And then man, biography, nation, leader, people, geography, history. What? Man, biography, nation, history. HISTORY, history. Bread bakery, brick. See, mint, kiln, furnace, mine. Here kiln, KILN, kiln. Doctor, diagnosis. Judge, court, punishment. Lawyer, judgment. Judge, what he do? Judgment, right? Judge, judgment. See, reading knowledge, work experience, cricket bat, hockey stick, dog rabies, mosquito malaria, man biography, nation history. Bread bakery, brick kiln, doctor diagnosis, judge judgment. Then connecting to self, right? Try to know whether your hobby makes things easy. Students, you have to find your hobby first, and which is take how much time take it and how much time do you used for your hobby. You have to fill the box here. See, hobby. Think that you want to make it easy, like reading, writing, playing, singing, dancing, etc. Right? So days, if we have 7 days for per week, right? So you have to fill the blanks in a one by one. Okay, first you take today onwards, time that you spend in a day, like 1 or 2 hour. Okay, time that you spend in a one day, for you have to write here 1 hour. And then you are feeling like happy, interesting, boring. What boring? Okay, what hobby do you have? You have to that's like happy or interesting or boring. Definitely it makes happy. Okay, status, that is easy or difficult. Some games are easy and some games are difficult, so it is first easy. So like that you have to fill up the 7 days. This is for your example. Okay, so you have to fill in your hobbies, spend time, and it is happy or boring, interesting, etc. and then its status easy or difficult, and then before that you have to which hobby, like writing, drawing, playing, singing, cooking, gardening work, etc. Right? You have to write it here, and then time, how much time you have to spend for your hobby, and you get happy or sad or boring mood from your hobby, you have to write it here, and then it is easy or difficult, you have to write it here. Okay, students? And then prose lesson, right? Prose lesson. Prose lesson. Sir Isaac Newton, the ingenious scientist. Ingenious scientist. The writer Nathaniel Hawthorne. Hawthorne. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Warm up. In pairs, identify the great thinkers of the world and write the names from the box. Here they give 8 pictures. We have to find their name. You already know some people's, right? Like Abdul Kalam sir and Vivekananda and Buddha, etc. Right? So we have to match we have to find their name. We have to write it in the dash. Okay, first, what he is? He is Aristotle. Aristotle. And Vivekananda. 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 And Sir APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam. This is the third one. And fourth one, Buddha. 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 And here, Plato. Fifth one is Plato. 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 And he's Einstein. The sixth one, right? Einstein. 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 And here C.V. Raman, right? Sir C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman. And he is Socrates. 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 Yes. Students, are you all know their name? Aristotle, Vivekananda, APJ Abdul Kalam. Here APJ means Abul Bakir Jainulobbin Abdul Kalam. And Buddha, Plato, Einstein, C.V. Raman, Socrates. Yes. Sir Isaac Newton, the ingenious scientist. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Hawthorne. Okay. Section 1. Read the following passage here. Read the following passage on Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton. Let me read the passage. Yes. On Christmas Day in the year 1642, on Christmas Day in the year 1642, Isaac Newton was born at the small village of Woolsthorpe in England. Woolsthorpe in England. Little did his mother think, when she beheld her newborn babe, that he was destined to explain many matters which had been mystery ever since the creation of the world. Since the creation of the world. And then Isaac's father being dead. Isaac's father being dead, Mrs. Newton was married. Mrs. Newton was married again to a clergyman, and went to reside at North Witham. North Witham. Isaac was left to the care of his good old grandmother. Good old grandmother. Isaac was left to the care of his good old mother, who was very kind to him and sent him to school. In his early years, Isaac was chiefly remarkable for his ingenuity in all mechanical occupations. He had a set of little tools and saws of various sizes manufactured by himself. With the aid of these, Isaac contrived to make many curious articles, at which he worked with so much skill that he seemed to have been born with a with the saw or chisel in his hand. The neighbors looked with vast admiration at the things which Isaac manufactured, and his old grandmother, I suppose, was never weary of talking about him. And he'll make capital workman one of these days, and she would probably say, no fear, but what Isaac will in the world, and be a rich man before he dies. Yes, let me explain this passage. Students, you have to listen. Isaac Newton was born on December 25th, Christmas Day 1942. He was born in Woolsthorpe, a small town in England. His mother had no idea that this baby that she held in her arms was going to explain many things which had been a mystery since the world began. Isaac's father was no more, so Mrs. Newton had remarried and moved to a place called North Witham. Isaac was left in the care of his old grandmother, who took good care of him, and then she was very kind to Isaac and helped him to study well. Isaac was left to the care of his good old mother, who was very kind to him and sent him to school. And then during his childhood, he was well known for his originality and creative mind in all mechanical related works, right? Then he had a set of little tools, all made by himself, including saws of different sizes. With the help of these tools, Isaac created many strange articles which involved a lot of skill. It seemed like he was born with a saw or chisel in his hand because he was so skilled with tools. It seemed like Isaac was born with tools. Yes, then see, and then the neighbors looked at him with huge admiration when he produced things on his own. And then his grandmother was always praising him and she never got tired of it. She had mentioned that he would be an excellent workman someday. She also said she did not doubt that Isaac would do well in his life and that he will become a rich man before he died. Yes. And now let me read the hard words and its meanings. Okay. Destined. Destined means bound. Destined means bound. And remarkable. Remarkable means worthy of attention, striking. Worthy of attention, striking. Ingenuity. The quality of being clever, original and inventive. Ingenuity means, here see, ingenious, right? Ingenious, right? Ingenuity means the quality of being clever, original and inventive. Being clever, original and inventive. Contrived. Deliberately created rather than arising naturally. Contrived means deliberately created rather than arising naturally. And then weary means feeling or showing extreme tiredness. Weary means extreme tiredness. And capital means excellent. Here capital means excellent. Okay, let me read the next passage. Some of his friends no doubt advised Isaac's grandmother to apprentice him to a clockmaker. For besides his mechanical skill, the boy seemed to have a taste for mathematics, which would be very useful to him in that profession. And then in due time Isaac would set up for himself and would manufacture curious clocks like those that contain sets of dancing figures which issue from the dial plate when the hour is struck, or like those where a ship sails across the face of the clock and is seen tossing up and down on the waves as often as the pendulum vibrates. And then indeed there was some ground for supposing that Isaac would devote himself to the manufacture of clocks, since he had already made one of a kind which nobody had ever heard for before. It was set going not by wheels and weights like other clocks, but by the dropping of water. This was an object of great wonderment to all the people in the neighborhood, and it must be confessed that there are few boys or men either who could contrive to tell what o'clock? It is by means of bowl of water. It means of bowl of water. And then beside the water clock, Isaac made a sundial. Thus his grandmother was never at a loss to know the hour, for the water clock would tell it in the shade and the dial in the sunshine. The sundial is said to be still in existence at Woolstrop, on the corner of the house where Isaac dwelt. See, let me explain these 3 paragraphs. See, Isaac seemed to love mathematics, right? Isaac seemed to love mathematics apart from his mechanical skills. Hence, some of Isaac's friends told Isaac's grandmother to train him to become a clockmaker. He could apply his mathematical skills in the clockmaking profession. As time progressed, Isaac started making clocks for himself. He made strange clocks. Some had a set of dancing figures which sprung out of the dial plate. Every time the heart struck. He also made clocks where a ship sails across the face of the clock and showed the following up and down of the waves whenever the pendulum vibrated. And then there were instances to believe that Isaac would dedicated his skills to make clocks. He had already manufactured a clock which nobody had heard of. He made the clock work by drops of water. It did not have wheels or weights like a normal clock. All his neighbors were amazed to see this object. There were some boys and some men who only tried to tell the time with the help of a bowl of water. And then after the water clock, he also made a sundial, right? A sundial is a device that tells the time of the day when there is sunlight with the help of the shadow based on the position of the sun in the sky. When it was night time, his grandmother found the time with the help of water clock and during the day with the sundial. The sundial made by Isaac can still be seen in Woolstrop in a corner house where he lived. Yes. Okay, students. Today we are stopped here and then we will continue in the next class. Okay. Okay, students. You have to read the passage and find the hard words and meanings. Okay. What is the title of the lesson? Sir Isaac Newton, the Ingenious Scientist. Written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Okay, students. Keep safe at your home. Thank you.